Good, my hair's in my eyes. That's what I wanted. That's perfect. Cool. Hi everyone, I'm Michael and welcome to Back Alley Bonsai. Today what I'm going to be working on is this Ficus Benjamina, which I've shown previously on my channel. I did some work earlier in the summertime to do some clip backs and try and get some better branching out of it, and it is absolutely bounced back. It was a little sparse at the beginning of the summer, and now it is just covered with green foliage. And I'm going to be doing two things on this ficus. We have a long growing season, and these ficuses grow all summer long in Los Angeles. They'll grow into the fall. They'll even grow a little bit in the wintertime because it never really gets that cold here. So it's always a good place for ficuses. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do some more selective branch pruning. I want to actually go through and find problem branches and figure out what directions do I want this thing to go. And one of the problems with these ficuses is they never drop their leaves. They are an evergreen tree. They will keep these leaves until the leaves stop working, and then the older leaves or the shaded out leaves or the weaker leaves will die off, and they will be replaced by newer leaves as the branches continue to grow out. But as a bonsai enthusiast, that means that I never really know exactly what's going on inside of here, and the only way to do that is to go in and actually remove some of the leaves. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to strip this tree all the way back to just bare branches, and then from there I'm going to figure out what exactly I want to do with this tree. So stick around and we'll take a look at all that stuff. So I wanted to bring you in very close to show you exactly what the process is for defoliating one of these trees. Step number one is make sure your tree is actually really healthy. You don't want to go through and defoliate a tree that's struggling. It needs these leaves. The leaves are the only thing keeping it alive. If you have a healthy tree, on the other hand, this is a good process for keeping an eye on what exactly is growing and trying to figure out what your branch structure actually looks like and see what's actually going on underneath the tree itself. So what I'm going to be doing is, quite literally, I'm going to be going through on each and every one of these leaves, and I'm going to go through here and clip it off just like that. I'm going to leave this little bit of the stem behind. This is called a petiole, and I'm going to leave that in place. That will keep the branch from dying back too far. And you can see there's some back buds in here where it could grow back from, and so that's not going to do it any real harm. But I'm just going to go through and clip back all of these leaves so that I can better see each of these individual branches. And this process is a little slow and tedious, so if you decide to do this at home, take your time with it, try and enjoy the process. Well, all right, everyone. I have clipped off all of the leaves that need to be removed, but one. And here we go. Perfect. Now my hands are completely covered in latex. I should have worn gloves because I am mildly sensitive to latex, but a little late now. But now that I have the leaves all off of this tree, I can now see this branch structure and see what exactly is going on in here in a way that I never could have before with all the leaves on it. And there are quite a few branches in here that are problematic, and I'll bring you in close and let you take a look at some of the ones that I'm definitely going to be working on and need to correct and figure out what to do with. So here's a good example of a branch that is giving me a little bit of trouble. And the reason why it's giving me trouble is it's crossing inward towards the inside of the tree. So we have our main trunk here, the line is going up, and then this is sort of crossing, this branch goes out, and then this one branches back this direction, and as you can see, it crosses over. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and take that entire branch off. I don't need it at all. I don't think, for the overall structure of the tree. So just take that one out. This is another problem area that I need to kind of sort out. So it comes up, it branches off into two. And I think what I'm going to do with this, I think I'm going to take this off, take this to a little bit shorter, and then I will also take this a little bit shorter, and I've got a nice little bud right there which will hopefully take over and move upwards. This branch right here, which has been my leader for a while, is starting to get a little bit too strong. It's growing, it's getting very thick. You see that? And pretty much everything is going in this direction on it. So I think what I'm going to do with it is I'm actually just going to take and cut it. Like another couple of nice little branches right here. I'm just going to take and actually cut it completely to there. This branch here is growing really long and straight. It's got lots of branching on it, lots of subdivisions, so I have lots of options, but I don't want it to be growing totally straight like that. So I'm going to take it back to here. Similarly with this one, it's very straight along here. So I think I'm going to cut it back to this branch. I got a couple of good points. I'll take it off there. And that way we can get it to branch off in two different directions there. Get that back to kind of the weaker growth, which will hopefully branch out. Got some dead stumps. Take them off. This one up here is starting to get a little long, so I'm going to take it back to there. Let's see. This one also is getting a little bit too long for what I want. All of this. So I'm going to take and cut all that back to here. This one here is getting too long as well. So I'll cut that back to there. Actually, I'm going to cut it back one more further. There we go. Same thing with this one. Got a little bud right back here. Little branch that's growing out there, so I'm going to cut that back to there. So this is kind of the front of the tree right here. From here we can kind of see that this branch comes up and over and is crossing in front of these other major branches. I'm not sure I really like that very much. So I think I may actually cut that to there. I'll clean this stump up later. And I'm going to actually take this branch off completely. There's another branch behind it which can kind of take its place. Right there. Same thing with this one, it's crossing back over in front of the main structure, so I'm going to take that back. I'm looking at these ones. These two branches here. And from the front, they kind of do the same thing. Now, this one comes out and over, and then this one comes out and over as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this one back to here, like that. And this one I'm going to cut back as well. Cut that back to there. So next I'm looking at these branches right over here, and I don't know that I want to do too much to them. I'll probably take this one back to here. And these branches here, I actually kind of want to get this stronger. This branch is actually getting too thick. I want this one to be more like this one, so I don't want to do too much craziness to it. They all have pretty good movement on them too. They're not too static or straight or anything like that. Let me just clip the tips off. Alright. Cool. And now that gets me around to this secondary trunk. Just coming up, and it's got some good movement on it, and then it gets very straight right there. Got lots of good little twigging on it, which is nice, but it is starting to get very tall, and I do want this to be secondary to the rest of this tree. So I am going to have to cut it back to something. Just don't know exactly what or where. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it back to here. Let this take over. See if I can do it with these cutters, or do I need to get my good ones? Yep, worked out fine. Cool. So my hope is now I will start to get some nice upward growth on that, and hopefully get this to kind of fill out a little bit better as a secondary trunk on this tree. I'm going to cut this back a little shorter too. Actually, I'm going to cut it way back to there. There's a couple little branches right there. That will hopefully take a little bit of the steam out of this branch. Let's see how this looks from the front. Yeah, I'm not sure I like it. You can kind of see from the front of it here There's a lot of movement in this direction, which I don't really like all that much. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take this branch back here off completely. Maybe the front one? No, it's definitely got to be that one. Yeah. Let's just take it off. There we go. And I'll take off this one as well. Well, there you have it, everyone. That is my defoliation and late summer, early fall styling on this Ficus Benjamina. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. I love responding to comments. And as always, have yourselves a wonderful day.